False Start, a college football podcast for everyone and everyone else. I'm your host, John Buhler, lead writer for FanSided. I'm joined today by a man who wakes up every morning and remembers everything. Whether it's dates, times, or locations, he's got it on lockdown up in here. Cody Williams, content director, fansided.com, the Martin Brodeur of Brainpower, the Patrick Waugh of Recall, the Brad Guzan of Gray Matter, the Tim Howard of Hindsight. How are you?
Brother, I appreciate all the kind things you're saying, but we both know that's not true at all. I don't remember anything.
Retainer.
I'm doing good though, man. How you doing?
It is Memorial Day. That's why I said all that
Oh
stuff.
yeah,
The
100%.
most,
I knew where it was coming from, but it's just when it comes to me, that's just a lie.
just the amount of times people will say things to my face, namely my fiance. I'm like, what?
This is the first I'm hearing of this. I don't know what you want me to do.
Yeah, before we begin, be sure to hit that like button, smash that subscribe button, give us a 5-star review on Apple, Spotify, YouTube, anywhere there's podcasts. We have hands, and we can clap. We can make it rain like it's been raining outside and destroying my plans all the time. It's been great.
We could use some of that rain up here. We got like a 20-minute shower and it's like the first time it's rained in like a month. But I say that monsoon season is coming in a couple weeks and I'm going to be preaching the opposite. So
How green will the green chilies get?
very green, very spicy.
And on that note, we've obviously false started. Let's get rolling with our first and 15 in this kind of dumb but very much memory based episode.
Yes, sir.
We kind of hinted at this earlier in the week or last week, the last episode, but we're gonna do a 4 for 4 to start here with, which team in each league do we just not talk about that much? And
Mhm.
I'll explain why that is. I've got two in case we overlap. Let's start with ACC. Who on this tier program do we not talk about very much?
Brother, I don't think we've talked about Wake Forest like 6 months. Like
No.
it's been a hot minute since we mentioned Jake Dickert and what he's got going there. I'm gonna be honest, I didn't realize Gio Lopez was at Wake Forest now. But I mean, like, it's one of those things where we think Jay Dickert did a really, really nice job in year one. We think that the overall outlook for what Wake Forest can do under him is positive for sure. But like, are they going to compete in the ACC atop it? Probably not. Are they going to be a bottom feeder and one of the worst teams in the ACC? Probably not. And so like they're just kind of in this like middle ground gray area that when we're in the middle of May that we don't really talk about a whole lot.
Yeah, this segment's not going to be particularly kind to people that are going to win somewhere between 5 and 9 games.
Yeah, exactly. 100%.
That's a really good one. I did not have that one on here, but I think a good reason that we don't talk about Wake Forest as much is because, I mean, Dave Clawson was just program altering, and Dickert's been fantastic, but like this is only year two for him.
Mhm.
We got to see if his coaching meshes well with the roster retention plan that Clawson had for years, where it's like, yeah, you're a freshman, you ain't be on the field for 1 second, brother.
That's right. Enjoy it. Enjoy the pine because that's where you're going to
Yeah.
be.
It's like people like go, to like boarding school to play hockey. You just repeat sophomore year and you just lift weights. Shout out Huck.
That's right.
Got it in that special. For me, I guess I had two, and one of them wasn't actually Wake Forest. I had Stanford.
Stanford's a good one.
My thought with Stanford is like, look, I think you and I hold this program in very high regard because right around when we were in college, they were really good and they were a really strong program from like what 07 to like 18. Basically, once Mike Bloomgren left for Rice,
Hmm.
David Shaw's like, I'm not going to recruit anymore. But like, Andrew Luck's a day younger than me. Chase Thomas, I went to high school with. Shane Scoves, your grade.
Hmm.
Obviously, we knew Austin Hooper. Christian McCaffrey's a little bit younger than us. Richard Sherman, Doug Baldwin. Like, we would have been in high school the same time they were in high school. So, like, we think very highly of them. But Stanford's not transitioned as well to the ACC as I think SMU or Cal have. So, we hope that it works under Tavita Pritchard, but it's going to take some time.
No, I definitely thought about Stanford because like since Tavita Pritchard was hired, we maybe mentioned them once on this program. So like that was definitely another one that was in the running here.
And we didn't really mention much about Troy Taylor other than the scandal of him just being an ass.
Yeah, it wasn't even like that big of a scandal other than like he's just kind of a dickhead.
Going 3-9 every year. The other team I had was Boston College. I feel like the only thing we talk about them in a post Jeff Hafley world is just Bill O'Brien, and it's just all negative.
Yeah, it's not a favorable we try to be positive, contrary to popular belief. We try to be positive around here sometimes.
I'll be straight with you. The new president of football for the Atlanta Falcons, Boston College legend Matt Ryan, do you think he could coach the Eagles on Saturday and have a better record than Bill O'Brien would this upcoming year?
Honestly, no, because like Boston College is a very, very tough, like it truly one of the more underrated place, like difficult places to coach because it's not like overcoming academic restrictions or anything that we're talking about here. It's just a really hard place to get people to come play college football because there's not a whole lot of tradition there.
No, you got a Hail Mary, and you got Matty Ice, Luke Kuechly, some Hasselbecks, and I think what Bill Romanowski played there.
Yeah, and like Zay Flowers was fun, but like the
Yeah.
team sucked. So like
So you're still going 1-11 or 2-10, which would you not
yeah,
going anywhere. All right.
yeah.
Who do we not talk about very much in the Big Ten?
I've got someone very much in the Boston College, Stanford vein, the Purdue Boilermakers. Um,
Yeah.
and on it, like this is going to be the meanest thing I say on this episode, guaranteed. But like we don't talk about them because they're irrelevant, and
Yeah.
like that's unfortunate because like we were high on the higher when they made it, but like at the same time, now we're sitting in a spot where it's like, can you even win at Purdue in the modern age of college football? And like it right now, it doesn't really seem like it.
That's a great one. And again, I didn't have that one here, but you're right. Like, unless you have Jeff Brom or Joe Tiller, it's going to be very challenging because
Mhm.
Purdue was really good back in like the 60s and 70s and 80s. It's not been that for the
Yeah.
most part this century.
And there's not even like been like in like the past like half decade, like there's not even been like any like West Lafayette magic really. You know what I mean? Like it's just kind of been dormant, which is unfortunate, but like that's why they're not discussed often on the show.
No, no, not at all. And obviously, outside of the late Tyler Trent and Rondell Moore, like that, and you had Aiden O'Connell there. Like there were just not a lot going on there
Yeah.
for the Boilermakers. I had two teams that are very much in that 5-9 win range. I've got the Rutgers Scarlet Knights and the Minnesota Golden Gophers.
So I thought about Minnesota. I feel like we talk about PJ Fleck enough to like disqualify them from this just because like we do talk about PJ Fleck at least a decent amount. Rutgers is definitely the other candidate that I was considering here. We don't talk about Rutgers at all.
These are just two coaches that know exactly what to do where they're at. I
Mhm.
mean, Sean is the greatest coach in Rutgers program history. I mean, Flex provided the most stability to the Golden Gophers since what, the 60s, probably.
Right.
But like maybe once every 10 years, Minnesota is going to win 10 games, and maybe they'll have a season like Vanderbilt this past year where they come just
Mhm.
short of making the playoff. Rutgers, you can recruit. They do a good job of recruiting in New Jersey. People do want to go there. The problem is they just don't have enough je ne sais quoi to figure out offensively, and it holds them back.
No, 100%. And like, you can say je ne sais quoi, it's quarterback. They haven't had a good quarterback in a hot minute.
No, sir. But it's, you're kind of in the middle part, and it's kind of like if we're talking about Fleck, it's usually a good thing. If we're talking about Shannon, it's unfortunately probably a bad thing. But
Yeah, I mean, we have a lot of respect for Greg Schiano as a head coach, but like Rutgers is what Rutgers has been, like under Schiano. Like nothing's changed. Like it's just okay, you're probably going 5-7 or 6-6.
it'd be like that sometimes. What about the Big 12?
I feel like we haven't talked about Arizona a lot
No.
this year, especially this is the most interesting one I think. Well, actually, the SEC one is also interesting, but like Arizona won 9 games last year, and I feel like we've barely talked about them. Noah Fafita's back for another. Like Arizona's not in a bad spot under Brent Brennan, and I feel like we haven't talked about them a whole lot.
It's kind of like when TCU is good. We don't
Hmm.
talk about, but not great. Like when TCU is great, we talk about them. But you bring up a good point. I mean, Fafita's won 9+ games in 2 of his 3 years as starter. He's coming back for year four, year two under Brent Brennan. You have a coaching change midway through your college tenure. Tetero McMillan turns pro and becomes a top 16 pick. Like I get that. You
Hmm.
switch leagues. So
Yeah,
maybe that's part of it too. Like if they were in the old Pac-12, we'd be talking a lot more about them. And that's not like, do I think Arizona is going to win the Big 12 this year? I don't. Do I think they can get to Arlington? I'm not ruling that out. I
yeah.
think, maybe we're giving Houston a little bit too much love, maybe not enough to Arizona.
That's a really good point because like Houston and Arizona are much closer in terms of like win total proximity than we probably have like discussed at this point.
100%. And I alluded to this on the previous episode. My first choice is Iowa State, and my second is UCF. Yeah, we got this. Just Iowa State
Sorry,
coming in like
I was dying a little bit right there. I apologize.
just Pollard.
Yeah, that's right.
I can't wait to see how that transcribes on YouTube when the show's done and up tomorrow for you guys on
That's right.
I think it goes. I think it puts him down as Parm,
Parm, chicken parm.
chicken Parm, Jamie chicken Parm Pollard.
That's right.
Um, Basically, ever since Matt Campbell left, Iowa State has become an irrelevant program. And again, we think pretty highly of Jimmy Rogers as a coach coming over from Washington State and South Dakota State, very much in a similar spot as Purdue. Obviously, Campbell has elevated the ceiling of what the program is capable of, but we also remember when we were in school how awful Iowa State was.
No, 100%. And it's one of those things where like, you know what? Like I'm not like not rooting for Iowa State, but like that it's also Matt Campbell overachieved what we thought like the ceiling of Iowa State could be for so long. Like he was there for a decade and like overachieved for most of that decade. And like the fact that we're still calling that overachieving makes like you don't really know like even if we like Jimmy Rogers as a coach, we don't necessarily know what that's going to look like in Ames right now.
Right, right. And then obviously with go to UCF, the part there, it's like, who says you can't come home? I mean, Bon Jovi and me, apparently. Because if you go back to UCF, they're kind of holding on to this hope. They've been the one program to move up a level from the group of five to the Big 12 that it's just not working out as quickly. Even Cincinnati, I think, has done a better job of it. BYU's hit the ground running, and Houston's adjusted quite well. Obviously, Houston's phenomenal at basketball. BYU as well too. UCF's good at basketball, but it's like there's. I think the roster is in such disarray under Gus at the end that like Frost has got to establish new roots, but at a familiar place. But his reputation took a hit. I wonder if they're gonna get there. They might. I don't know if it's gonna be under him. It's probably gonna be under his successor in probably 5 years.
I just thought of this. You want to know who could also go home as his successor? Josh Heupel.
Yeah. Honestly, yeah.
I don't
He
hate it
can,
either. I actually think that would work out really well for UCF.
well, that's because Josh Heupel's not going to have to reinvent himself
Hmm.
because he can't he's just all smoke and mirrors here. He's got the one trick. He's like a Gallagher brother smashing watermelons. He can do that.
That's right. He's, you know what? He knows his one trick very well.
Yes, is smashing a watermelon when it's seedless is better than non-seedless because you have the chance of a projectile. Otherwise, it's just a mess.
That's right. You need some visuals going out there.
The other day, the last time the Braves won because they lost 2-3 to the Nationals, Chadwick Tromp hit like a walk-off,
Hmm.
and then I think Raisel Iglesias and Jorge Mateo like poured like some sort of Gatorade concoction with sunflower seeds on it, and he's doing the interview. That's all on his face.
That's incredible. Love it.
Looks like the Candyman, man.
Shout out Chadwick Trump, who has one of the best like Twitter handles I've ever seen. Tropical Storm. Great,
Yeah,
great
dude,
Twitter handle.
man's a legend.
Absolutely.
All right, and then who do you got for the SEC? Let's get that one going.
I feel like we haven't talked a whole lot outside of Drink, who we've mentioned offhand and like JLN, but like we don't talk a lot about Mizzou. That's probably going to be a top 25 team coming into the season too, which makes it even a little weirder that that's the case.
Yeah, Mizzou is number one for me with the bullet, followed shortly by Arkansas
Yeah, Arkansas was
because
my other one too.
yeah, the battle line's going to get mighty ferocious there. But I think just with Mizzou, we've just kind of gotten frustrated. Like they're a better version of the same thing that they are. They're a better version of NC State. But
Yeah.
as soon as you expect Mizzou to do something great, they always throw up on themselves. Whenever you're not around, they make like a nice little trinket there. They leave it like on your in your desk. Oh, this is really nice. You made this.
You made this in pottery class. I'm so proud of you. Yeah. No, but no, I mean, like, you've got Austin Simmons coming over from Ole Miss, and like obviously didn't work out that well for him in Oxford. But I do think he's probably a better fit for Mizzou than Bo Pribula was, because like you're going to be able to throw the ball. Ahmad Hardy, glad that he's on the up and up after what happened this offseason. And like if and when he does play this season, he's one of the best running backs in the country. So like Mizzou's going to like probably upset someone, probably going to be in the top 25 throughout most of the season, and like we haven't really talked about him that whole a whole lot.
I'm gonna look this up, make sure I got this absolutely right. Mizzou's three annual opponents. I know one of them is Oklahoma,
Hmm.
Arkansas, and A&M. So that checks.
Yeah, that tracks. That tracks.
I mean, the Oklahoma and A&M draws not particularly great, but like I don't know, you can get Arkansas here. I
And
guess if
also, like, I mean, look, Oklahoma and A&M are better teams than Missouri, but they're also neither of them are infallible teams by any stretch of the
no,
imagination. It's like, and I'm not saying either of these teams are infallible, but they are a tier above. Like, it's not like you drew Georgia and Texas as your two main
right.
rivals or something like that. Like, they are beatable, and especially for a Mizzou team that I think is going to be pretty good.
Yeah, even if, there's obvious flaws there with Oklahoma and A&M, like they're still really good teams, but Mizzou, if they get it going, they can figure it all out. I got a perfect example to describe Mizzou here. You know the movie Mystery Man?
Of course.
Uh, the guy that Kel Mitchell plays, who I saw DJ at a beer hall, at a game bar back in Chicago,
Hell yes.
in Wicker Park. Shout out Emporium. He was DJ.
Shout out Kel Mitchell. What? I
Shout out
mean,
Mitch
yeah.
Kelmich, you know. Anyway, he plays a character where like he's invisible, but when only nobody can see him, and everyone's like, "This is absolutely worthless." But apparently, like he can take his clothes off and like get by through like security cameras, and really ultimately helps them out in the end. That's kind of Mizzou's superpower.
I will never forget the trailer for Mystery Men because it contained a Cal Mitchell line where he's like, "I'm invisible. Can you see me?" And everyone goes, "Yeah." And like that was the entire part of his trailer.
We got what I think Ben Stiller's in that. William H. Macy is the shoveler.
It's not a good movie, but I've seen it like a half dozen times.
I gotta watch it again. Just get kind of that's gonna be on a under further review at some point for
Oh,
me.
yeah, 100%.
I told Rosemary like, hey, we're not watching Billy Madison. I don't think you can handle this. We watch Mystery Man.
This is cinema.
This is art, man. And then with Arkansas, it's like the program's been in disarray. Obviously, Sam Pittman's so likable, but couldn't do X's and O's. Couldn't recruit really well. So
Right.
coordinator dependent. And then you bring in Ryan Silverfield, who everybody in the SEC seems to think is a really good and strong head coach. But it's like he took a bad job at the wrong time.
I mean, like, there are good coaches that take bad jobs, and it shouldn't be like a complete reflection of the coach, but like, Arkansas is not in a good place right now. And specifically, they have so much money invested in the basketball program right now for an athletic department that doesn't have a lot of money to go around, that like the football program is getting left by the wayside. And like, not to like Ryan Silverfield, I disagree with some of the SEC coaches on like how good of a head coach he is, but even like let's say we believe the SEC head coaches and like how they feel about that, like I still think I look at this and I'm like, if you're Arkansas and you have things rolling in Fayetteville, you're not necessarily hiring Ryan Silverfield. You're probably
No.
hiring someone with a little more pedigree.
Yeah, I'm like, imagine if he would have just waited one more year. If he
Mhm.
stayed at Memphis, could they have won the G6? That's very much in play. And other jobs that could open up. Yes, I understand he's a Gainesville, Florida native. It just he wasn't going to be the Florida head coach. That's okay. It's fine.
It's fine. Not everyone's cut out for it.
But Florida State could open up.
Mhm.
You may have to get a new driver's license if you didn't want to, because Knoxville might open up.
That's right, 100%. So yeah, I mean, you do wonder what would have happened if he waited. And like, I'm not going to write Arkansas off, but I'm not hopeful by any stretch of the imagination.
No, man, I'm not gonna write them off here. But when you cut open a hog and you make some bacon, you gotta see how far the ripples go.
That's right.
New segment here because it's the off season and we didn't have to think too much. We'll have another new one here that we may or may not bring back. I don't care. It's what we're doing right now.
Hey, I like this one, especially for off-season content.
So yeah, Cody and I are big fans of the Apple Plus TV show or holiday season Spirited. I watch it every year.
It's so good, dude. It's so good.
At least one episode a year, you're basically singing the songs in your head while we're talking, at least.
Oh yeah, it's how far the ripples
Let's
go.
go.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. So what we're gonna do here today is we're gonna talk about an event, a crazy event that happened in college football that had a lot of ripple effects.
Mhm.
And because we're still talking about, Coach O going back to LSU, let's talk about how Coach O first kind of came to prominence at LSU, which goes back to a game that took place in September of 2016.
Mhm.
Auburn beats LSU 18 to 13 in a game where I distinctly remember this because we were both like early on our fan sided careers. We're like, whoever loses this game is going to get fired. Is
Correct.
basically was exactly the setup for it. And there was like a very controversial play. I think that like Danny Etling got the ball to like the one, but then they called an illegal shift so that they ran out of clock.
I mean, tough scenes, but also not surprising considering Les Miles was their head coach at the time.
No, so the ripples go. Coach O becomes the coach of note, which allows in I think the summer heading into 2018, they get Joe Burrow
Mhm.
from Ohio State. They have the greatest team in national championship history. Then LSU happens. It's the fan for Coach O, and LSU has not really been the same with Brian Kelly.
No, 100%. And like you look at the ripples specifically for Coach O, like yes, Burrow's a big part of that, but like you got to think this happened in 2016. By the time we get to 2019, that means the next recruiting class that came in contained Justin Jefferson. That means the recruiting class after that contained Jamar Chase. Like if Coach O doesn't get the job because of this game, like LSU's 2019, the greatest college football team we've seen, at least in the modern era of college football, I think all time. But regardless, wherever you want to place them, like that doesn't happen if Coach O is not at the helm of that program.
You don't have the stability of the coaching staff either. You don't have Dave Aranda. You don't
Mhm.
have Stevens Minger. You don't have Joe Brady as an assistant. You don't like that. You people wouldn't want to go to that if they didn't. If Coach O wasn't say, "Hey, I just know how to recruit. Can you do everything else?"
Can y'all help, please? Yeah, like the current Buffalo Bills head coach was the QB's coach at this time at LSU.
Unbelievable here. I also kind of wondered that there was at least one or two players from the LSU side where this probably hurt them. I think this game had an indirect impact for Leonard Fournette having such a short NFL career.
I mean, it's not. It's kind of a chicken or the egg situation, if you ask me, because like I wonder if this was one of those games where we kind of found out what Leonard Fournette was made of to some
Yeah.
degree. And like I don't want to put it all on the player because like obviously he was super talented at times, but like he never quite materialized into that. And like I think a lot of that was self-inflicted. Like I don't know if he was ever meant to be the guy. Like I think he was a very talented athlete and a very talented running back who maybe shouldn't have had the stock that he did.
Yeah, he was grouped with like Derrick Henry and Nick Chubb. They're
Mhm.
basically the same age and everything like that. And those two guys are still playing in the NFL. They were second round picks, and he went
Yeah.
four to the Jags.
Number four, man. That's wild. I mean, granted, a part of that was the Jags at the time not necessarily being run the best.
No, like it was just a, and then it also there was off the field issues that hurt Darius Geis as well. But like the running back room kind of took some. This was kind of like everything else was going really positive for LSU. That kind of hit a snag, and then it was Clyde Edwards-Helaire later.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, Clyde Edwards-Helaire, who also didn't necessarily turn out in the NFL the way we thought.
No, been a minute for LSU running backs. Probably the last guy was Kevin Falk, and he was kind of just a guy.
I mean, he was around forever, but yeah, he was definitely just a guy.
God, is it so wild that like they recruited him and not his cousin?
Right. Tough. You really hate to see that. There was someone else that popped up on this box score that I had like forgotten about and like had a solid NFL. DJ Sharp was on this team
Yes.
as well. And like that's a dude who like I mean honestly you look at a lot of these guys on the LSU the LSU roster and like you could really see that things were trending down under Les Miles at this point. Like yes, you had Leonard Fournette, but like Danny Etling was your quarterback, like one of
Mhm.
the most uninspiring quarterbacks I've ever watched in my entire life.
Yeah, he played preseason for the Falcons, and he was very much a I'm gonna run and pick up some yards because I can't throw it.
Honestly, the quarterback matchup in this game was just uninspiring. Sean White versus Danny Etling. My God.
Sean, that was also part of it too with the Auburn side of it, and I'll get to there in a second. But like Sean White was like, oh, he's the perfect guy for like Auburn. He wants to play here, and he was a terrible fit for Gus Malzahn. I'm like, we're gonna make you run wearing some Don Joyce, brother.
We're gonna make you run, even though you're not good at it.
No, there was a guy, I think like named like Sean White or something like that, who I played lacrosse with, and he was our goal. He was a goalie.
Hell yeah.
He was an attack man, and he's like, "Don't make me run, please."
I get it. I get it.
Yeah, like even worse than how you describe yourself. This guy was not a mover. He was not a shaker. He was a shaker.
I mean, he's got more balls than me though, because being a lacrosse goalie, not my cup of tea. No shot.
No, that's an insane sort of thing here. I guess like the other thing was it kind of felt like as I was looking back at this game that LSU was gonna fire Les Miles. It just kind of seemed like if not now when because I believe the year prior in 15 they had finished the season on like an 0-3 skid that left a really sour taste in people's mouth as well. But like if they would have delayed it a little bit and it didn't happen like the first third, like the end of the first third of the 2016 season,
Hmm.
maybe O doesn't get the interim tag removed. So you got to wonder like who the hell would like LSU have even gone after at that point? It would have been a totally different thing because Burrow wouldn't have come here. Obviously, the recruiting wouldn't have been here.
Hmm.
Maybe LSU would be in a better space today than it was then, but like it wouldn't have shot up like it did in 19.
No, 100%. I'm looking at 2015. They lost three of their last four. They did beat Texas A&M, although technically they didn't win any of those games in 2015 because they were all vacated. So they lost them all. And I mean that to your point of like were they thinking of firing Les Miles? Like there were obviously some things going on at LSU behind the scenes with Les Miles at that point that putting on the Senate cap here, I have to imagine that LSU knew about and was and like with the lack of success coming with that, it was probably like, all right, we got to get this MFR out of here soon.
Didn't work out well for him at Kansas. He was doing a lot of cameos and not a lot of winning there. But like
He's doing a lot of mailing it in. Dude basically worked for the U.S. Postal Service at that point.
that squirrel that's sitting on my windowsill out there is doing more work than he did.
100%.
But
That squirrel climbed up there. Les Miles ain't climbing shit.
not that squirrel's outside in the rain, brother. But if they would have delayed this, they O wouldn't have been the guy. I don't know who it would have been, but that would have changed the trajectory. And it is weird to think like this gave Gus Malzahn like another bit of runway at Auburn. Obviously, they had a really strong season in 2017. You beat both Alabama and Georgia, at home. You lose to Georgia in the SEC championship. If you would have won that, you would have been the first two lost team to make the playoff. Then you lose to UCF in their national championship game.
You know what? You're a footnote now. Good job, guys.
But like, and then it kind of created. There was always some sort of doubt with Gus Malzahn. And I think Auburn like hated the fact that they liked him, but loved the fact that they hated him too.
Oh
And
yeah.
then they get rid of him, and it hasn't been like 21 through 25 has just been pure trash.
No, I mean like that this game kind of identifies one of the things about Gus Malzahn as a head coach, which is like he's going to get his teams up for big games. Like I've never been worried about that. We even saw when he was the OC at Florida State when they upset Alabama. Let's think about this. Like I don't know. I just Gus Malzahn's a always going to be a fascinating figure in college football because like he got his teams up for big games and like lost the ones that he was supposed to win. Like that's kind of just who he is.
And I think Auburn would have actually had an easier time finding a head coach. Then again, I don't know who it would have been. Maybe they'd be in a better spot. Maybe that coach would still be there.
No, I mean like this is definitely one of those things where it's like the dysfunction wasn't as rampant as it is currently or has been in
No,
recent years.
no. And like the last two things here is because the LSU team became the greatest in 19 ever.
Hmm.
Who wins the playoff that year? Is it Clemson? Does Georgia actually win it?
I would probably stick with Clemson. That Clemson team was very good. They just didn't
Yes.
stand a chance against LSU. But like, I mean, it becomes a lot more interesting. It becomes a lot more evenly balanced. Like this would like with LSU being in there, it was very clear that there was one team that was just a cut above the rest.
Because if we were just to swap in what Georgia for LSU, you still got Clemson, you still got Oklahoma in the playoff there. I'm forgetting who else made it that
Let's
year.
see. 2019 college football
2019.
playoff. That was Ohio State. Ohio State was the other
Okay.
one.
Yeah, that Ohio State team, like maybe they would have got a different matchup. Maybe they could have won it. Like it would have made that playoff so fun and so unpredictable. I would probably go with Clemson winning the national championship that year.
Yeah, I mean that Clemson team was very damn good. A lot of those guys are currently like really good players in the NFL, which is like what made that LSU team so remarkable is like they weren't beating the piss out of nobodies. You know what I mean?
No, they didn't. So, but if that LSU team doesn't exist, then who's the greatest college football team of college football playoff team of all time? Like, because everybody says like, oh, LSU is the best team I've ever seen.
Yeah, I mean, funny enough, a team that has a candidacy for that would be Auburn with Cam Newton. And
Yeah,
like that, like talking about ripple effects, like you could argue that Auburn cost itself being one of the greatest college football teams of all time by ushering in the Coach O era.
that's absolutely true. So if I got like playoff champions, I mean like maybe I'm not gonna put 20, maybe 22 Georgia's pretty high up there. There's also like
Yeah.
really good
I mean,
honestly
there's a
the
couple Alabama teams in there too.
20 Alabama was really good. I think 15 was dominant. I think honestly like 18 or 16 Clemson were really good.
Yeah, that's true too.
So like again, like it just changes the entire paradigm here, but Kojo's back and
That's right.
he's
That's the
doing
most
what
important part.
and we don't have to do that many degrees of separation from Nick Saban for Coach O. I think it's probably just one, which is Lane Kiffin. Oh,
That's right.
gonna bring back this segment because it's been a while, just like staying since we've done this, so we got to do it. All right,
Yes, sir.
all right,
It's always a fun one.
all right. I've got um. Do you have yeah? How many names do you have down?
I have two. I only have two names, so
Okay,
we can
perfect.
start with yours for sure because I know you got a couple more.
Okay. Between two players, would you rather do Aiden Childs or AJ Hawk?
AJ Hawk, of course.
Okay, let's do it. Got to get to Nick Saban for AJ Hawk with six. I mean, the Pat McAfee show, he goes on there all the time. That's probably one, but
Yeah, but let's not use TV programs to get there.
okay, let's try
Because
to.
with Saban on game day, like that does kind of like enter a cheat code era. Like you could
Mhm.
do like Johnny Manziel was like supposed to be a guest on College Game Day with Nick Saban. You know what I mean? Like you can go that route. And I don't. I think we should stick more football based.
Okay, so let's say AJ Hawk played for the Packers. That's
Yes, sir.
let's start with that. That's a good
Like
one.
that. Let's see those Packers teams. I'm trying to go through Packers teams.
Make a player or coach. You're like, you know what? Let's just use them.
Let's go. Let's go Mike McCarthy. Let's see what we can
Okay.
get with Mike
All
McCarthy.
right. They both who played for AJ Hawk played for the Packers for Mike McCarthy.
Mhm.
Mike McCarthy. Um, Mike McCarthy also was the head coach of the Dallas Cowboys.
Correct.
And
Okay. And he coached Trayvon Diggs
Trayvon Diggs
on the Dallas Cowboys.
on the Dallas Cowboys, who played for Nick Saban at Alabama.
Five, baby. That's a five piece right there.
That is good. Wouldn't have gotten there that quickly. I would have gone to like Micah Parsons, but that's awesome. That's good.
That's the Cowboys knowledge coming through for us right there.
Remember everything, man. That's what I said. Okay. Who's your first candidate?
Timmy Chang. Let's start with Timmy Chang.
Oh God. Okay. So Timmy Chang played at Hawaii
hmm
for I'm gonna assume it was June Jones. It probably I think there's enough. He was there a long ass time.
Yeah, I would assume it was June Jones. I can't. I would have to. Let's see. June Jones tenures. Do do do. Oh yeah, yeah.
Yep.
99 to 2007 for
So
sure.
and if not, we could have gone Timmy Chang's career with like the 49ers, I guess. But
Yeah.
I don't want to go there. So he played for June Jones. That's two. June Jones
June
coached
Jones.
June Jones coached Jeff George of the Atlanta Falcons.
Hell yes, he did. Um,
Whose son went to go play for Nick Saban in Alabama.
hell yeah, dude. That was a good one. Nice.
Yeah, dude. Or if you, the other way that would have been wild is like somehow we get that into Jason Whitlock, and then we get into David Haw at Ball State, and then
I was about to
we
say
get
we
the
got to get to
Chicago.
Ball State somehow. I don't know how we do it, but
Ball State plays the same conference as Kent State, which is Nick Saban's alma mater.
there we go. Hell yes.
All right. Next one, you get to choose between one of these two guys. Former North Carolina State head coach Chuck Amato or former Washington and Notre Dame head coach Tyron Willingham.
Ty Willingham. That's a name I haven't heard in a minute. Let's go Ty.
Okay, I'm gonna pull this up because this is hard. This is gonna be really hard. We're gonna need some help here. Tyrone Willingham. His first name is actually Lionel. Lionel.
Had no idea. This is the first I'm hearing of this.
Okay, so okay, prior to Notre Dame, he was head coach at Stanford, and he was also from 95 to 2001 at Stanford when they stunk. He also had some time. I think he was with the Vikings running back room in 92 to 94.
All right, let's go.
Or if
So
you want to just do Notre Dame or like Washington, if you got some
I
connection to
was gonna
those
go
two.
Notre. Didn't Tyrone Willingham get Jimmy Clausen to Notre Dame? Is that the same era, or am I off a year?
I'm gonna look at this. Jimmy Clausen. You can see that shit eating ground on his face, and once we go to Jimmy Carter on Wikipedia, oh my God, yeah, it's Jimmy Clausen. No, no.
Damn it.
You're looking probably at Brady Quinn if you want to go there.
Oh, let's go Brady Quinn. Let's do it. Hell yeah. Oh, this is
Who's
easy.
and
This is easy.
and his brother-in-law is AJ Hawk.
That's right. But we could even go even a little bit better. We could go Brady Quinn was the quarterback for the Cleveland Browns after he played at Notre Dame. And let's see. When he was with the Cleveland Browns, God, who was the head coach then? Um, I'm totally blank.
Um, or you could go this way. This is even
Okay, hit
easier
me up.
too. When he was with the Browns or the Chiefs, his OC was Brian Dable, who was on Nick Saban's staff.
There we go. There we go. Easy. There we go. Easy money.
Brady Quinn's uh Superman, man.
What a guy. What a legend.
I love how this one goes. And what's your last one?
I want to connect my very long distance relative, Scott Abel, to Nick Saban.
All right, Scott Abel. Um Abel.
All right,
Yeah.
here's how I'm gonna start it because I think we can get somewhere with this. And we're gonna go outside of football, but we're gonna stay with programs. He was previously the head coach at Davidson, which is
Hmm.
where Steph Curry went. Steph Curry's brother was Seth Curry, who played at Duke.
Duke. Okay. Seth Curry played at Duke.
Oh,
Um
I think. Oh, hold on. No, that's not right.
Scott Abel to Jesus. I'm looking at his page. I'm just like, this is um I immediately thought like is JT Daniels an assistant on this Rice staff?
Maybe. Let's see.
I'm gonna look and see on the 2005 Rice Owls, like their first season. This is uh oh my God. Their first head coach of note's name was Phil Arbuckle back in the 19 like around the time of the Titanic. So that's something too.
Hell yeah.
They went 5-8. They did play in a bowl game, and they lost the Armed Forces Bowl. Their staff doesn't say anything about the Rice staff.
So apparently he coached at West Georgia in 24, but then wasn't brought back for 25. So I don't know what JT is doing these days.
Uh, probably growing mushrooms or whatever. Scott Abel, this is really good for the show. All right, so we're with Davidson to Steph Curry, his brother
Seth played
Seth
at
Curry with
Duke.
Duke.
And let's see, he was at Duke from 2010 to 2013. Let's see. Let's go 2011 Duke Blue Devils football. See if we can get a connection here.
This
Um,
this pains you. This pains you so much.
dude, do you know who the defensive coordinator was for 2011 Duke that went 3-9?
Um, Jim Knowles, right?
It was Jim
Knowles.
Knowles.
All right. So we got to Jim Knowles. They must have shared a meal there at one point in Durham with Seth Curry. All right, Jim Knowles. How do we get? Do we want to go to Oklahoma State? Do you want to go Ohio State? Do you want to do Penn State? Do you want to do Tennessee now?
We gotta get to. Let's see. The highest. Oh, we got it. I'm
Yeah,
there. We're there. Jim Knowles was the defensive coordinator at Ohio State, and he coached Caleb Downs, who Nick Saban recruited to Alabama.
there we go. Bam. And that was 6 degrees of separation from Nick Saban. We did it, brother.
Yes, sir. We got Scott Abel to Nick Saban, which I'm proud of.
But you know what? The memory remains. Just another made up segment, just some of our favorite low key college football moment memories since we've been doing the show. Could be like things that happen in the sport, things that happened on the show. I've got four for both. Just rattle them off if you got anything that you just remembers you. Basically, we've been doing the show since like week one of 2023.
Yeah, we've been at it for a minute, man. I mean, the first one that came to mind was the topic of our first show, and it carried
Yes.
over the entire season. Cam Black Smoke Rising just not playing a down when he was the lead topic for our first ever show.
I had that on there. This one,
Just
Cam
didn't
Black's
play. Just didn't do it.
Cam Black Smoke Rising almost playing for us during the first episode of the show, but he never did.
Dude, just unbelievable. Like it's a hilarious footnote that like we literally like based the show around like is Cam Rising going to play in Utah's season opener, and then he just didn't touch the field the entire year.
Ever again. Um, so I kind of got like that was a big overarching one. I've kind of got like one from each of this 3 seasons. So the big one from 2023 is just like the general demise of Mike Gundy after the 2023 Big 12 championship. Because you had an offense with like Ollie Gordon the second at running back, Alabama was playing really well at quarterback, and then they've won like 4 games since then.
It's tough. It's not been good since then.
No.
I've got another one from the Big 12, which this was just one of the most fun things I think we've experienced on the show. Arizona State's rise in 2024.
Yes.
Like talking about, especially on this particular show, we're talking about teams we weren't really discussing in each conference. We weren't talking about Arizona State going into that season, like at
No.
all. And slowly, like midway through the season, we're like, hey, should we be paying a little more attention to Arizona State? Because they look pretty good. And then all of a sudden they're in the college football playoff and like almost upsetting Texas.
Yeah, my fiance's alma mater's won almost as many playoff games as my team since we've been dating. Zero. It's been
Tough,
great.
tough.
Back to that season, I remember covering the 3 yards in the cloud a punt for Ohio State at Oregon, and it was I think you were at like a wedding or something, like
Mhm.
officiating, and it was like the Will Howard slide. I was like, oh my God, they're gonna crucify him for this. And then like that same day after the hours after the Peach Bowl, we're coming back in an Uber and Ohio State's up on Oregon like 33-0.
I do remember that one.
I'm in the back of the car. I'm texting you or I'm slacking you. I'm like, are you seeing this? And you're like, yeah, dude, it's not going well for the Ducks at all.
They're getting their shit kicked in like immediately. Another one that like has permeated through honestly the life of the show to this point. We kind of watched like the evolution of Diego Pavia because like
Yes.
when we first started, he was at New Mexico State. I was in New Mexico, and so I was like, you got to watch this kid. He's kind of a lot of fun and like making New Mexico State and Jerry Kill like a lot of fun right now. We talked about an inordinate amount of New Mexico State in 2023. That was also the year that he pissed on the UNM logo
Yeah,
at the
he
practice
did.
facility. And then to watch him become a Heisman finalist this past year, like kind of watching that ascension from, pissing on the
Crap.
logo Diego Pavia to being a Heisman finalist is kind of wild.
I mean, it's like Nvidia stock, man. It just keeps going up.
Right. That's what I'm
It's
saying,
just
man.
going. That's a fantastic one. And for my personal pain, and you experience this a lot, Wisconsin nearly going a month without scoring a point last year. I was on the Wisconsin beat pretty hard there with Mark Knight of Badger of Honor. And basically, since well, you lose to Alabama, you lose to Alabama, that's not that bad. But it was the Maryland game. You put Billy Edwards Jr. out there trying to prove something to his former team. He falls apart like paper mache. They get their clocks cleaned by Michigan. Couldn't do anything. They finally scored some points in the rain versus Oregon in like disgusting garbage time. Like
Yeah.
that's the only time their offense could work. It was like in the rain versus Oregon and versus Washington. Wisconsin football offensively was the saddest bag of crap I've ever seen covering an offense
It was bad,
in
dude.
my 36 years of life. Just horrendous.
They were putting you through the ringer because you were writing a lot of Badger of Honor at the time too. So like it was just it was tough to have to watch Wisconsin. Speaking of offensive ineptitude, how can we forget the drive to 275? Brian Ferentz, baby. What a incredible time to be alive and covering and talking about college football.
He didn't get there. That's the best
He did
part.
not. He did not. Not even close.
No, other stuff that happened on the show. I think about at least once a day. That one time you pulled a 5-star review out of your already open Snoopy advent calendar at your mom's house.
I'm still chasing that high. I don't have as much. I don't have anything left in the tank, I don't think.
Um, what's another ones I got here? Basically the roundabout way that we came to the conclusion that Kirby Smart is an adventurous ghost hunter, mostly by speedboat. Also, he's ghost hunting right now because it's Memorial Day weekend and it's in the rain in Lake Lanier. You know he's all about that shit right now.
The ghosts are active at Lake Lanier in the rain.
So for those who try to understand, like, I'm not going to use the F word on the show right now. We haven't crossed that Rubicon yet, but like the point that like we got here was there was a contract extension written up for Steve Sarkisian, and it was like he gets a car. His ex-wife at the time gets a car. It's like a pink Ferrari
Yeah,
convertible, and we're like, what the hell is Kirby gonna get? And you're like, get him a speedboat.
that's right. What else are you gonna? What else do you need?
I know he kind of spends more time at like Lake Oconee. It's much closer to Athens than Lanier is. But I'm like, what's he want to do? What's he gonna do with this? Just give him Lake Lanier, man. Just go out there. Why? He's just an avid ghost hunter because that place is the action park of flooded riverbeds in Georgia.
It's haunted as hell. Haunted as hell.
Uh, Lake Lanier finds you, man.
That's right. 100%. I'm worried it's gonna come out here and creep out here at some
Uh,
point.
yeah, anything else? I got two more.
I'm not none specifically, but like getting through a graphic design is my passion segment on various points throughout this show has been some of the hardest things I've ever had to do on false start just because like I'm having to like read and explain this but like I can't breathe so
Every time I do it, I'm like, I am gonna destroy him in the it's the Jane Lynch meme. I'm gonna destroy him so good.
that's right.
I don't know how I came up with that. It was like I think it was like your birthday or something. I'm like, let's do
Yeah,
it.
I mean we were just vibing. I'm sure
Like,
I'm 100% sure it was an off-season show.
I feel like you were doing it like April or like May or something like that in 23. So
Yeah.
yeah. Or 2024 before the 24 season. Yeah.
And let us not forget that we the first graphic design is my passion happened before we were on video. So-
I know, man. I shared those out on like X. You can find them probably like 4 or 5 years back, but they were there.
yeah.
Um, One of our very first episodes on video, I was dog sitting Bubba, aka Bosco, and he got into the trash mid-episode and had to go deal with a very needy Doberman, and you put like a Doberman interruption.
One of my best editing tricks for sure.
It was like I had to do this in like the dining room. I was getting hella bad glare. I couldn't see what was going on, and I'm like, oh, he's in his dog craze eating a piece of cheese. It's great. Then he goes like on the other side of the wall, like back here, and he's just eating like coffee Keurig pods. Just and I'm like, it's gonna be bad for you in a few minutes, man, and even worse for me.
Good old Bosco, man. Now, one other thing, which isn't necessarily something y'all would have seen on the show, but like Uh, some of the time that I had to put in editing video when we were at the old house was awful. Like, I don't know if I ever revealed this, but the highest internet speed available at the first house we lived in when we moved to New Mexico was 60 MPS. And I was having to upload full episodes on YouTube at 60 MPS. It took like 2 hours. Now I can get the entire pod edited in like an hour if I'm like not doing anything but editing the pod, which quality of life just skyrocketing in that department.
100%, man. And then obviously behind me, the one thing that you just your face that time my lamp cable fell off the picture frame and hit me in the head like a snake.
Thought you were in the Amazon rainforest there for a second.
It was like, oh my God, what's this? Yeah, there's like a light fixture like right here,
hmm
and there's like a cable that lands down that's really ugly and stuff. So I usually put it up here over the AC unit, and we moved it, and like my pop filter just doesn't go back anymore. So it's over there now.
Hell yeah.
The other time was the almost famous episode
Oh, dude, what an episode.
where like I froze out in the most epic way possible, and that's my Slack picture. I think that's actually my Twitter avatar too, if I'm not
It's a good
mistaken.
picture, man. I sent you the screenshot and I was like, you look so happy. Like you're just loving life.
And the best part was because that was episode what 73 for the 73 tour.
Yeah.
Because video only goes back to 99.
Yep, 100%.
And it was like I think we were talking about I think we were talking about the Mark Maron lock the gate stuff where like Russell Hammond gets shocked by a microphone in Phoenix.
That's right. And then you got shocked by the microphone, apparently.
Whoa, what just happened?
Oh man, you were not grounded at that time.
My hair got a lot more drier over the next hour without internet for me.
That's right.
Oh gosh, I love this show. I love this show so much, and I love doing it with you. But more importantly, we got to remember some dudes here.
Yeah, we do. 100%.
It's Memorial Day. We're gonna remember some college football players from yesteryear that we just got to put some shine on them. You're gonna go three today. I'll go three as well. Which
Yes,
who do you
sir.
want to start? Who do you want to start with?
Uh, Someone who I've been thinking about because of this show. We talked about Iowa State pre Matt Campbell just not really being much of anything in the national college football landscape, but a guy who made them at least fun for a little while, Seneca Wallace.
Yeah, Seneca
Seneca
Wallace.
Wallace was freaking awesome, dude. Not an NFL caliber player by any stretch of the imagination. NFL caliber athlete, sure, probably, but was just like single-handedly putting Iowa State on his back. Like they did not have a good football team, but they had one dude who no one could stop, and it was freaking awesome to watch.
He is one of those people. Like if we would have had a show back when we were in middle school, like we would have talked about him a lot.
100%, man. He was so much freaking fun.
No,
He was
he's
like budget Mike Vick. It was great.
it's great. And we're going to go to the other side of Cyhawk for me. We're going to go with the guy who's been on this list for a while. That's former Iowa running back Sean Green.
Oh hell yeah, we are.
He was like a better version of TJ Duckett for like the
hmm
the the Hawkeyes, where it's like we can actually let you be a featured back. I think he played for the Jets for a bit.
hmm
His career was decent, but like
He had one
he
really good year with the
mhm.
Jets.
He was a little bit after Brad Banks, who was like the end all be all offensively before we get to the Ricky Stanzi nonsense that has plagued Iowa football forever.
Yeah.
But like Sean Green was one of those players where it's I almost felt like he should have played at Wisconsin. He was
hmm
like that type of back, like Jonathan Taylor, Braylon Allen, who was a running back for Wisconsin, like maybe not quite Melvin, maybe
Like
Gordon.
not what's his name? I'm totally blanking.
It was like Rondane Light a little bit.
Yeah, Ron Dane. God, I couldn't think of the name Ron Dane at all.
Yeah, this
But
guy
that
was
just a
yeah.
bruiser, dude. And like you say Wisconsin, my first thought was like imagine Sean Green on like those like late 2000s, early 2010s Alabama teams as well, where like they were just like featuring Derrick Henry and being like, "Hey, would you like to carry the ball 30 times this game?" And like Mark Ingram and those guys, like Sean Green would have fit that mold as well.
Or if he would have played for like Nebraska, like if
hmm
he would have, I mean, I think he's younger than Eric Crouch, but like if he would have played for like Pelini or Solich, like just mowing people over, dude.
Would have been, Sean Green was awesome, man. I loved him in the NFL too. He was a lot of fun to
Yeah.
watch.
All right. Who's your next guy?
Someone who I feel like was is too good to be forgotten about in time, but I haven't heard his name in a long time. Jeremy Maclin at Mizzou.
Yeah.
Dude, Jeremy Maclin was freaking awesome. And like I remember like it was every facet of the game. Like he was just faster than everybody on offense, but also on punt returns, played a lot of special teams at Mizzou as well, and was just like one of the most dynamic athletes. Like we keep calling people like diet versions, but like he was legitimately like diet Devin Hester at that time. Like it was incredible to watch.
Unbelievable player, man. Just so good.
I'm still not sure how he didn't work out in the NFL. Like that's how good he was in college. Because like I just don't understand like why it never like fully came to like materialize in the NFL.
It happens to the best and worst of us. I guess,
Oh yeah.
what team did he go to again?
The Eagles. He was on the Eagles for. I
Oh
mean, like
yeah, that's
I'm
right.
not upset that it didn't work out, but like I'm surprised.
But he was also went to the Eagles at a very weird time for
Hmm.
them. Like that was Andy Reid and like Chip Kelly. So that's probably his NFL career didn't help him out. But he was like the block in Mizzou. Like yeah,
He
probably
was
one of the
sick.
best players to play for. God, what's the Gary Pickle? I was sitting
Yeah,
there.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, one of the best players there. I'm gonna go with another guy that's gonna be fun. I got a lot of people to pull from here, and I'm getting down. These guys have been on this list for months.
I love that you have a list, and I just think of the first three guys that come to my head when we're recording. So-
I'm gonna go with I'm gonna go with the quarterback who had one really good game versus South Carolina. That's former Texas A&M quarterback Kenny Trill Hill.
Dude, talk about someone I haven't thought about in a long time.
This is 2014, so this is after Johnny Manziel. A&M's been in the SEC for about 3 years now. They're cross divisional at this point with South Carolina because they decided to make Battle Line a thing with Missouri and therefore Arkansas because Arkansas used to play South Carolina because they came in the SEC at the same time in '92.
Hmm.
Um, so this was the first game that was being aired on the SEC network, and it was a huge deal. It was a
I didn't remember
huge deal.
that. Okay.
It was a huge deal. We're gonna be able to put this on here, and this is still when like trying to fight out the last little bit of cable wars. And Kenny Trill throws like 500 yards. It just absolutely cooks. Like the only other game that I remember eerily similar to this, but it was like the Big Ten version of this was Graham Mertz carving up Illinois during COVID
That
at
game was
Wisconsin.
insane. I'll never forget that game. That's like one of the biggest anomalies. But Kenny Hill is like very much in that vein because like I remember this game happened and it was like the conversation like nationally became like, is A&M actually in a better spot post Johnny Manziel with
Yes,
Kenny Hill? They were not. Definitively, they were not. But it was a hell of a Saturday, that's for sure.
it absolutely was. Who's your last guy?
I'm going Homer. I'm gonna go with Denoris Cersei, who played
Let's
strong
go.
safety for the North Carolina Tar Heels. Is Denoris Cersei, was he a good football player? Sort of. But he would lay your ass out, and it was great to watch. Like it was one of those things watching Carolina football at the time, round the turn of the decade in 2010. But he would come through, and it would just be like, oh, what linebacker just laid out that running back in the middle of the field? No, it was Denoris Cersei playing strong safety. Like he was a very throwback type of player who really didn't have much going for him going to the NFL as a throwback type of player in the 2010s, but like hell of a lot of fun to watch play college football.
Yeah, light him up, get him out of your seat here. That's what you like. It's like the basketball players who can only dunk. It's you love it,
That's
dude.
right.
And I'm going to do this to get him off this list here. Phenomenal player in the Pac-10. Had a lot of promise in the NFL. His brother sucks. That's former Washington quarterback Marcus Tuiasosopo.
His brother sucks.
Marcus Tuiasosopo was like at the very end of the '90s, like Washington was still pretty good. Then they kind of hit the Tyrone Willingham stuff, and
Mhm.
very early Washington was terrible. Like
It was not great.
this is kind of still like Jim Lambright, maybe like a little bit extended beyond what Don James did there in the '70s, '80s, and or very early '90s here. But Tuiasosopo could really spin it.
Mhm.
There's always like a guy, like a West Coast guy that just he's in the peak of his powers. He can distribute it. He got drafted very high by the Raiders, and they
Mhm.
thought he's going to be the heir apparent to Rich Gannon. I think he had like an injury and it didn't quite work out. And obviously the
Mhm.
Raiders were highly dysfunctional around the time that he got there, so it didn't pan out. Yeah, I think his dad played the NFL, and his brother obviously was like the former third base coach of the Braves. Couldn't read an outfield wall. Like he could
Like
he could
Chad Epperson on Sunday for the Boston Red Sox shot him out, sending Connor Wong home and with one out.
yeah the Marcus Tuiasosopo was really good there. I distinctly remember kind of like my first like Pac-12 after dark kind of a thing,
Mhm.
like watching like late night on sports center, like oh Washington just like beat the tar out of like UCLA, who was really good at the time or something like that.
No, that's what I was gonna say. Is like Tuiasosopo, which I think I actually like didn't do terrible pronouncing that. He early experiences of Pac-12 After Dark are my memories there. Like the big SEC or ACC games that I was watching at the time, like whether it was Sports Center or watching something else that came on, like that's where I remember those Washington teams for sure.
100%. We remembered some dudes.
Damn right, we remember them fondly.
Let's drill baby drill with some just like Novocaine. This is gonna be so unbelievably dumb. We're gonna have fun at other people's expenses with songs centered around memories.
That's right, baby.
First song here, let's do a grunge classic, Come As You Are by Nirvana with Memoria.
I'm not convinced that he's ever heard this song, but Kalen DeBoer, a known memory, man. Like we know what he could have been had he stayed at Washington. We know what he can be as a head coach. It's not happening though because he's coming as he is, and that's not made for Alabama.
No, it's not, man. This is going to destroy you. So, my first prong here is the entire LSU athletics department. Whether it's Verge Osbury hiring, I guess inheriting Kim Mulkey, hiring Lane Kiffin, and then hiring Will Wade and the Coach O's here. Coach O's likes to sing Maria. Come as you are, come as you want to be, come as you were, as you want me to be. It's
Mhm.
like, yeah, we don't care what you did, at Tennessee State. We don't care about the Philly pantsuits from Baylor. We don't care that you're the least welcome person alive in Mississippi since whoever sieged Vicksburg. Like,
I'm gonna keep my mouth shut on unwelcome people in Mississippi, but
um, but then the other part, this is a this is canon, and this will tie to my next guy who else have for this. Um, for those who play music like I do, you don't, but that's okay.
yeah,
I could teach you how to play Come As You Are. Yeah.
brother, I promise you, I am musically illiterate. It's unbelievable.
You don't even have to do this. You just need these two fingers. You're only on two fretboards. You're doing one, two, and open, and that's all it is. And I we had a neighbor that lived next to my dad, and she comes over there, and I'm like trying to teach her how to play. She's like, teach her how to play a song, John. I'm like, okay, here we go. And she won't stop talking the whole time. It's like Kim Mulkey would be doing that, and I'm like, yeah, you just drill monkey stupid. You can't figure this out.
Can you get your feather boa out of my face while we try to learn this song? Thanks.
But I don't. But what if I don't want to touch that one? I'm like, well, that's how the tonality comes out here. And then the guy who can't play a triangle, that's Mario Cristobal.
100%. He like me cannot play this song.
If we lived in the same state, if we lived in the same neighborhood, like if you lived in West Midtown where I was, like I would basically record you doing stuff, like using power tools or something like that, and I would somehow make a beat around it, and it would blow Trent Reznor and Atticus Ross's goddamn mind. It's not 9 Inch Nails, it's T.I. and 10.
That's right, baby. We got 10-inch nails.
A little extra. Yeah, the beat is basically like you using a blender or a hammer.
That's
And
right.
you want me violate. All right. Do you remember the 21st night in September with September by Earth, Wind, and Fire?
Yeah, man, we got to go with the guy who loves September and not winning at any other time of the season. That's Mike Loxley, baby.
Yes, I had him on there too.
The September King right there. He remembers the 21st night of September because that's when he was, sitting 3-0 against an easy non-con schedule.
Isn't beating the Towson Tigers great?
It's so good, man.
And I bet these two quarterbacks remember the 21st night of September 2024. That is former Cal and Florida State quarterbacks Fernando Mendoza and DJ Uiagalelei.
Hell yes.
That was one of two games Florida State won that year.
Hmm.
Cal came in there. I think Florida State won like 14-9. It's like one of like Fernando's last losses. And the second to last win of DJU's football career.
Pour one out for old DJU, man. What a guy.
Just looking at the stat line, like neither of them played really well.
No, it was a bad game, bad football game.
No, it was not a good football game at all. And obviously I had Mike Loxley as my other one.
That's right. I mean,
Uh
I saw September and I was like, Mike Loxley, I don't even really got to think about this.
Earth, Wind, and Fire, that's three-quarters of Captain Planet.
That's right.
I just gotta say this. Which coach would be Captain Planet? And that'd be Mike Gundy.
100%.
He doesn't like littering.
He'd give Gator one of those rings for sure.
Gator's water, brother, or
That's
Earth.
right.
No, he's a tortoise, Earth, man.
I don't know. He's amphibious. He can be earth and water.
He could be heart too. Probably
That's
not fire.
right.
Rest in peace, Ted Turner. I love that
Yes,
show.
sir.
All right. Who had a great summer of '69 by Bryan Adams?
So it's not this isn't about 69, but more about the best days of my life and that they're trying to relive. That's West Virginia because we got Rich Rod back in the building and things have not been good since Rich Rod left. They have not been good at all. And got their first real six string, which was Pat White and Steve Slayton and all those boys. But yeah, you're trying to relive those good old days and they're not there anymore.
And he bought his roster spot, the five and dime there with Pat McAfee. Shout out to being a new dad. Midas McAfee's in the world now.
God help us all, brother.
Yeah, man. He put out like the longest tweet. I'm like, it's pretty eloquent, good deep stuff here, man. And like
100%.
he didn't seem like he
AJ
seemed like much
Hawk
like
probably wrote it.
dude, ChatGPT wrote that shit. Are you kidding
Oh,
me?
100%. I like to imagine AJ Hawk being Chat GPT. Like he's just behind. It's not actually artificial intelligence, it's AJ intelligence. That's what AI stands for.
The man got 3.0s all the way through.
That's
He's doing
right.
enough right. He's doing enough right. That's what I'd give my AI props and everything like that.
That's right.
There's people that are in school. It's like, can you believe I have to like write a 10-page essay without using AI? I'm like, dude, we gotta write a 10-page paper about a book I didn't read.
That's right. I had to do a lot of those.
Yeah, Candide. I didn't read that. Mom was like, why don't you want to read this? She's like, yeah, I don't blame you. This is
I had a professor tell us to read Moby Dick in a week. And I was like, are you out of your effing mind? No shot.
it's like the driest thing ever. It's like, you know,
It's
Herman
also like
Melville.
900 pages.
Yeah, Herman Melville died so James Michener could write books.
That's
The grass is so green, you're not gonna believe how green this is.
There's only so much hot air to be expounded upon on the page.
We don't even want to put ink on here. This page is so precious. Okay, before we continue, I want you to take a look at this page and just show how precious it is. Like this smells like mildew, like it's been in my aunt's attic for 30 years.
That's
For
right.
30 years. I remember like having a book report about Charlotte's Web as a kid.
Yeah.
And like the book that I got from the library is so old. It showed that E.B. White was still technically alive. And I wrote
The
there,
mothball fell out when you opened it up.
like it was like born 1899. He passed away in like the 70s or something.
Yeah, right.
And he's still alive and like 100 years old. I'm like, I don't think he is, but that's
I don't think
okay.
that's right.
Some pig, some book, man, some spider as well. Summer of '69 for me, a guy who was 17, the summer of '69, guys from school made a band, tried real hard, but Jody got married or Jordan got married, and that's Bill Belichick. Uh,
What was Jordan in the summer of 69? Like negative 40?
I don't even think your granddad was alive at that
That's
point.
right.
And the guy would have been coming of age. I think he would have just about to be turning 12 or 13 in 1969. That would be a Kirk Ferentz up there in Connecticut.
Of course, yeah, 100%.
Almost
He was definitely going down to the five and dime.
100%, man. He's going down the five and dime. He wakes up some mornings and his wife asks him, like, what do you want for dinner? He's like, Woolworths.
That's right. I don't know if I've ever told you this. We have a five and dime in Santa Fe downtown.
Let's go, brother.
It's sick.
Woolworths became Foot Locker, if you didn't know that.
Oh, okay. I did not know that. Nice.
Yeah, they've it's a paradox. Like you replace one piece of a boat, but once you replace all, it's still the same boat.
Except this one has on referee stripes, apparently.
It's like the Tin Men of shoes, dude. It always goes back to Wizard of Oz here.
Always.
And little ditty about Jack and Diane by John Cougar Mellencamp. Life goes on, brother.
Oh yeah, life goes on for Sonny Dykes at TCU, man. He's definitely sucked on a chili dog every now and then. But also, you had some good times, but life moved on, and now you're not in those good times anymore. But life goes on.
There's a guy who I think definitely embodied this song. Probably came out a little bit later. Hope I don't lose power because it's raining.
I hope
It's
not. You're still here to me, so
and back in Midwest City, Oklahoma, Mike Gundy was still there because he's definitely been
damn
like
right.
sucking on chili dogs.
Sucking on
And
chili dogs.
it's not a little ditty about not Jack and Diane, a little ditty about Mike and Gator.
That's right.
He plays the drums on top of Gator's shell.
Oh yeah, 100%.
And then the guy where like it breaks down where the Bible Belt's going to save his soul. We got a guy who's in Indiana. He plays this song when people walk into his office. You got to hear the whole thing and react to it before you talk to. That's Kurt Signetti.
100%. I need your thoughts. Need your earnest thoughts on this song. Oh God.
Song's so good. Yeah, coach.
I mean, it is a good song. I like
It is a
Jack and
good song.
Diane. It's a good song. When I think of John Cougar Mellencamp, I love The Office. It's not my entire personality. Obviously, you can see behind me, but there's a scene with Kevin Malone featured right here, of course, with the chili. But he goes, if someone gives you 10,000 to 1 odds, you take it. If John Cougar Mellencamp ever wins an Oscar, I'll be a very rich man. And it kills me.
Yeah, Brian Bumgarner went to school right down the road from me at Westminster. I think he was a year older than Wes Helms or Ed Helms.
He's a legend, dude. Brian Baumgartner is unbelievable.
100% here. He's also a massive Georgia fan, by the way.
Oh, did not know that. Hell yeah, love that.
I think he went to SMU for acting.
You know.
Yeah, he was down there doing his best. He's probably at school at the same time as Clark Hunt, probably.
He was probably a legend at SMU. He just seems like the personality that would take over SMU.
Like the SMU version of John C. Riley at DePaul.
Yeah, exactly. 100%.
And Joe Carey to DePaul. Gator, it all comes full circle, man.
That's right.
um, who's reminiscing with Little River Band?
Colorado. Reminiscing about when Shador and Travis Hunter were there and things were good, and now like no one talks about them. No one really cares all that much about Colorado again.
We didn't even mention them. They should have actually made the Big 12, I think, in
Honestly, they
retrospect.
probably should have, yeah.
And I gotta be honest with you. Reminiscing, that's you and Remus in the car, brother.
It's true. It's
It's
true.
like you're sitting there and you're in the Prius, you're driving around. This is the one song he can listen to like, that calms him down. But I could also see it being Fourth of July, going America and hitting the floorboards,
America.
sitting just tumbleweeds and dust everywhere,
That's
a
right.
mile above civilization. It's great.
Yes, sir.
Uh, and you go to the shop and you're like, yeah, bunch of guys to talk radio in your car. A bunch of New Mexicans pre-gamed an opera in your car.
Dirty Mike and the boys, you know?
Jerry Mike and the Voices legend. And if we're gonna go like a college football person besides you, Steve Sarkisian. I'm really calm. He's he could be like he's the accountant, but he also he got out of line in school. He went by Gator.
That's right. Oh God, that's good.
And we're gonna have the same thing for this last one, so I added a little bit more here. But I Will Remember You by Sarah McLachlan.
I'll say I went off the board for this one because I thought
Oh
we might overlap. I went Stanford, who we talked about earlier. Brother, it's real sad what Stanford football has become, but God, you remember the good times fondly. Don't weep for the good times that you had.
no. And I think I will only think of this song based on with Bubba Prague putting this out there on Twitter. Hugh Freeze coaching Liberty from a hospital bed, getting shut out like 21 to nothing by Dino Babers at Syracuse.
Oh my God.
When we do film study, that's probably the second game we're gonna do after the Rocknecker Hurricane game.
Yeah, 100%.
And then a guy, who's like, I will remember you. Will you remember me? Guy who collects receipts, a guy who gets motivated by them. The guy who's doing a lot on this Memorial Day up at Lake Lanier. That's Kirby Smart.
100%.
Every perceived slight, he's got that on Rolodex. He's playing the song with like, two megaphones, driving around, or just motoring around at Lake Lanier for everybody who's down there.
It's like at like 111 decibels, like just blasted.
I mean, he's got blood coming out of his ears. I mean, he needs it, dude. Like his two twins just graduated from high school, man. Like
He's going through it.
he's going through. Apparently, his son got a perfect ACT score.
Hot damn, that's impressive.
Yeah, he was like I think his two oldest kids' names Weston and Julia. Weston was like an ace like tennis player, and
Hell yeah.
he did like softball or something. I don't know where they're going. And Andrew's the one to watch for football, and he's like 14 or 15.
Hell yeah. I was thinking about this the other day. How well do you think you do on the SAT if you had to take it right now? I think I'd do real bad. Like I think I could I think the English and writing portion I'll be fine. But when we get into like the math part of it, I'm gonna struggle like badly.
Dude, I'm gonna like I'm nervous about like a Wonderlic, man, or an IQ test. Like I talk a lot of smack about like Tua and Dan Marino getting 17s on it. Like
Yeah.
at this point, I'm like, I know I write for a living, sort of, but like it's very off the cuff writing, self-edited by me. There are errors in there, that's how it goes. I don't want to take an IQ test because God forbid it's below 100,
Dude,
man.
right? God forbid I find out I'm Forrest Gump. Shit.
Dude, Nats has given you an IQ test and you just don't know
You know, you're probably not wrong. She
it.
thinks of me more like Lenny from A Mice and Men than anything.
Why do I keep seeing 94s all over my house? It's a cool number. It's not my favorite. I'm just like, it's just a reminder of what you are, brother.
Brian Adams' favorite summer and my IQ have something in common, you know?
I hope it's higher than that, man, because if you have that, then we got some work to do here, man. Get the Brick Tamlin score, brother.
Killed a guy with a trident.
Yeah, Brick killed a guy. And this was episode 277 of False Start. You can follow me, John Buhler, on Twitter at X at Buhler118. You can follow Cody Williams at the Sizzle20. You can follow the show at CFB False Start. Like, rate, listen, subscribe, review on Apple, Spotify, YouTube, anywhere there's podcasts. Give us a 5-star review. There's probably 5 people in Earth, Wind, and Fire. You know, they've only got 3 names here, but add some water and add some heart, and you've got Captain Planet there, man.
That's right. Give us a Captain Planet 5-star review. And we haven't said it in a while. Donate on Buzzsprout, of course. Of course.
Yeah, Jedi and Buzzsprout, you can contribute to a slush fund. We can do things. We'll do better things with your money than our government does.
Yeah, slush funds.
Slush funds. I'm not going to major in racketeering. Just be a racket.
I'm gonna minor in it, but not major in
Dude,
it.
I've like told 3 people now my theory about people laundering money through like leaf blowers, and they don't believe me.
I mean, I can you can talk me into people money laundering through anything, quite frankly. Like
Yeah.
not to there is a celebrity former athlete who has a lot of businesses in and around Atlanta and all over the
Yeah.
world who I would not be surprised if what was laundering some money through some of those businesses.
Is this the same guy that I think is actually AI? Yes.
Probably. Yes.
Yeah. He may have been in that movie. Maybe it was Sinbad.
Who knows? Who knows?
We were talking about this. I was hanging out with some friends yesterday. I've told you about the guy I went to college with, who's now incarcerated for
Yes.
taking some Bitcoin.
Yes, correct.
Look it up. If they make a biopic, there'll be a character portrayed by me.
Hell yes.
So me and this two other
Who's
guy,
playing you? Who's playing you?
probably James Franco or Kevin Parker if he can do it.
There we go. Like that.
But whatever, like me and 2 other people are like, who's like of the friend group that they would kick it out? Like, I'm probably number 6. You're 4 and he's 8.
That's right.
Yeah, but yeah, the thing was like you didn't know how to launder money, I guess.
No, sir. Did not.
No, no, you gotta do more than leaving the Folgers can, man.
That's right. You gotta put it on the rinse cycle for sure.
Yep. I gotta put the rinse cycle on once or twice to repeat because this is false stuff.